wine last night.
Oh no, you won't like it.
Oh,
Why do you say that? You smell the
I
wine that
love
I
things
made?
that are gross, but like,
No, the pear one.
no,
the pear
but
one.
listen, I want to talk about this. Hey, America, we're waiting for Lisa, so you're going to hear our conversation. No, listen, last night I had wine at a shitty restaurant, and when I looked in the glass at the end of the bottle, which obviously we drank, there was undissolved sugar, like a noticeable amount in the bottom of my glass. It was so gross.
Sugar? Not sediment
Yeah,
in
like
general?
no, it was like either that or it was salt or some other crystalline substance that had not dissolved that
Maybe
was
like
not previously in my glass.
maybe like the sulfites or something.
I'm
I
not
don't
sure
know.
what was going on. Either way, it was not great. So tell me about this wine that you drink in front of the trash can.
Clay makes all of these wines, and he sent it to me for Christmas. And there was 3 different kinds, and I can't. One was pear, one was tomato, and what was plum? Was the other one prune?
I thought it was fig.
Fig.
It was probably fig.
It was
Yeah.
fig, tomato, and pear. Right? Those were the
Okay,
3?
that's freaking cool.
But I
Okay.
also sent you like a legit one
Oh
in
no,
case
you
you
sent me
hated
a
all.
legit one. No, I that's not the. My mom wants the one that you drink in. So he gave me a description of like, how pairing, like you eat with red meat or you eat with fish, and like one of them was eat in front of a dumpster fire in a ratty lawn chair in the backyard. And my mom, who drinks wine regularly and is a well-traveled woman, like felt, and this had a sediment on the bottom of it that was like,
So good.
Yeah, it was real strong. Anyway, that was Christmas. You saw pictures of her, Kat. She was dancing and had Jello shots afterwards. I believe some of that had to do with Clay's wine. So
That's what I'm talking about.
anyway,
Moms and Jello shots. I have another friend whose mom is all about Jello shots these days.
I
don't know. I mean, if someone offers me a Jello shot, I'm going to take it. So maybe
But
that's
I
part of it.
was pairing it with the
so
caviar
long.
that you sent me, Kat, for Christmas. So it was caviar and lawn chair wine.
I mean, Kat, if you want some, I have a wine.
Obviously,
shelter.
I want you to send me stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll send it to you. I think I'm in Alabama, so we have a tornado shelter, but that's also where I put all my booze. So it's the wine shelter, and I'm pretty sure I've still got one of each of those. So I can send you those.
It was a very nice present. I was very happy that I got it.
I'm really glad. I'm glad.
And then he sent me like a very chic bottle of wine that he made sure he asked like recommendations on. And
I went to my local guy and I was explaining him like, hey, if all these bomb, how do I, make sure she gets something decent?
The fig was my favorite, and then
my
mom was the tomato.
That's what I'm talking about. I've never made wines, but I have. According to some states where it's legal. Is it legal anywhere? I have distilled various fruits.
I think it is more than it was. And you can only make so many gallons.
It's like look the other way type. I mean, I am in Georgia, right? So I think it's like similar vibes to Alabama. Like, I don't think anyone's coming for me for that, but you never know. Hey, Lisa, what are you doing? Where are you at? What are you doing?
Hanging out.
Lisa's doing business today. She was in a meeting, so she needs some time to appropriately adjust. Okay, America. So now you're welcome for this 3-minute intro to Clay Farris, who is a repeat guest and one of our most popular guests. He was one of our earlier ones in our first year of doing business. By the way, you guys, do you know we almost have done 3 years of the talk show?
Wow.
What the hell? And I would just like to tell everybody, we are technically profitable. Barely. But we do in fact sometimes cover our costs most of the time, and our books are sometimes balanced, so things are great.
How do you define profitable, Kat?
As in we are not bankrupt.
We paid our bills.
That's the question. Y'all are like business partners, right? That's the question you want to hear from your partner. How do we define profit? What is profit?
This is, as we always say,
this is a very serious business, Clay. We are so serious. Oh my God.
We pay our taxes. This is our least profitable but most fun endeavor. That's what I tell everybody. So welcome. So Clay Farris, CEO, founder, all the things of Mostly Medicaid. He's awesome. We have a lot of intros for him. I will just give you all a preview before we send him to the back. This is someone we actually don't think needs us to protect his reputation. But this is basically what we think he's going to talk about. So that is exciting for everybody involved. Yeah, so just going to remove that here. Clay, do you want to tell anything to our loyal fans before we send you to the back?
Yeah. I mean, I will say, just kind of picking up where you left off, 2 things. My real quick intro that if you know me, you know, and then I will kind of verify the reputational piece you were talking about. So My name's Clay. I eat, sleep, and breathe Medicaid, so you don't have to unless you want to, in which case I'm here to help you. That's been my introduction for like 20 years. And I actually got a text the other day. If we get to talk about the editorial cartoons that I've been putting out, I got a text. I know tons of former Medicaid director, like a lot of other people. They're texting me all the time because they'll see my stuff, and I look at what I'm about to tell you as one of the biggest compliments I've ever gotten. He said, yeah, I have all these people. They say, does Clay just not want clients? Because of all the stuff that I put out.
Does Clay hate money?
But I bet you make money because you're just weeding out the ones who are never going to pay you anyway.
And he knew me well enough to answer. And if he's listening, I hope he's listening. He's a good friend of mine. He knew me well enough to answer for me. And he said, yeah, he just wants the good ones.
That's what I'm talking about.
There you go.
All right, I'm going to bow out until y'all tell me to come back in.
You go back to the background here. We're gonna. Hey, Melissa, what's up? Oh my God, we've been gone for a while, you guys. We were on dueling vacations. Melissa was working. She was out there doing business,
like dueling pianos. Dueling vacations.
It was like so rough. Melissa, what happened that was exciting? I don't even know. Oh my God.
I went to Southern Plains Tribal Health Board conference, hung out with the tribes, got to learn some cool public health stuff that they're doing. Went to the New Jersey Reentry Corps. And last night went to the Greater Essex Counseling Alumni Ceremony. So I've been all over the place, lots of things happening, great people. Everybody who has been giving us money, thank you. All of you that have signed since I sent out the last one. I appreciate y'all. We're still taking them, setting up calls for June. So keep coming.
Yeah. Those of you who have said you were going to pay us and actually did, thank you.
Appreciate y'all.
We do like money. We do like money.
Yeah. Unlike Clay, we do like money. I don't know. Okay, Melissa, we're sending you back. Okay, Lisa, how are you doing? You look like you're in a business setting, unlike me. So how's it going?
I love business. Just kidding. No, I remember the day, back in the olden days when Fridays used to be a chill day. That is no longer the case.
Yeah, like when we used to do the show at 4:30 and get drunk. Now we don't get drunk anymore because it's at 3.
You're still working. It's like so annoying. Back in the day, people used to like work from home on Fridays, like chill out, chillax. No longer the case.
Yeah, now you got to do business. All right. Okay. All right.
Crazy.
So here. Well, yeah, we're going to talk to Clay later, but here, can we just appreciate this cover image for a second? This is a good one. Good job, Max. Kat and Lisa in the Shark Tank.
Good.
We hope those bars hold up because we get in a lot of trouble.
Would you get into a Shark Tank? I certainly wouldn't.
I have never had the desire to do it.
Yeah, I'm good. Life is risky enough. I don't need to like do additional things to feel alive.
Yeah, I feel alive pretty much every day, so that wouldn't do it for me either. I mean, I feel alive having a good meal.
Yeah, so, exactly.
Taking a nap. I feel
nice
good about
steak.
those things.
Nice steak.
My God. Yeah. We need to like regulate our nervous systems or something. Okay, so we'll bring Clay back later. Okay, so we missed like a lot of weeks. We had Lisa do a special show from like freaking New Zealand. That was our last show. Then she was there. I was in Spain, and now we're here. So we missed a lot, and we're just gonna forget that those several weeks happened and tell you about some things that recently happened and maybe some things that happened when we were gone because we're not organized. So great news for America and for business. Trump signed the SIBR law, or SBIR if you don't smash those words together.
SIBR. Yeah, we talked about this before, right? This is just, really cool small business funding, non-dilutive funding, funded some really cool stuff in the past. And it was like not authorized for a while. And that was really crazy. And there were all kinds of conditions put on the signing and everything. And it finally happened, like long story short, which is great because, we love small business, innovation, technology funding. Like we're into all those kind of things. So like, yeah, let's do it.
Oh my gosh. I totally agree. Because I do feel like generally most days America hates small business, but not always. And also just like betting on the S&P 500, betting on small businesses in America is a bet on America. So I'm here for that. Congratulations. Also, congratulations to the commander. Also a repeat guest on our show because he, I believe, is now his programs are allowed to go forward, which is super cool. And I think he's in. Hey, Melissa, what is the commander over again?
SDOH, or he used to be, and right?
We don't know. The point is the commander's back in business, and we're here for it. And he's going to come on the show, and I think you have until September to apply for those grants, right?
Yes.
We should probably have him on before we say those things because we don't know. Okay, cool. So that's exciting. Glad this went through. Also, very big news in CDC land, Lisa. There was a leaked piece early this week, or maybe it was late last week, from WAPO, from our friend Dan Diamond, about some CDC picks, including Erica Schwartz. And I think just yesterday, Trump officially nominated her. So that's exciting news. Seems like a legit person.
Yeah, well, as I have said on many forums, if anyone listening has the dirt, the dirty dirt, as Kat would say, about why Dr. Schwartz was not brought in as the acting Surgeon General under the Biden administration, we would like to know that, mostly because we're nosy. Like, not for any real,
100%.
there's not like any like real reason we like need to know, or it's really important. I would just like to know because I like gossip. And Dr. Schwartz seems like a, eminently qualified physician who had served as Deputy Surgeon General, I believe. Yep, that's what it says in the headline there. And like,
Good.
truly, like she by rights should have been the acting Surgeon General before I believe the Surgeon General was nominated and confirmed or whatever. And so like, why didn't she get confirmed? Anyone know? Let me know. I like gossip. Again, this is just for my own interests and no other reason.
We are guessing, and we are just gossiping because that is the point of the Health Tech Talk Show. But like, don't you think it was just because like even with the Trump administration coming back in, they just fired everybody that was like a Biden loyalist? Isn't this like
no. Biden is the one who didn't make her acting Surgeon General. That's why I'm interested, dude. You are first.
But that's what I'm saying. Wasn't he just like Trump pick? I mean, I don't think Biden actually did very much, but I think his people did those things.
No, Kat, she was a long time like rear admiral in the public health corps. She was a career, like not a political in any way, shape, or form. Like, that's the thing. Like, it's one of those things where I'm like, what the hell, guys? Like, was this a good move?
Maybe she, like me, told him that she doesn't like taxes.
Maybe she did.
That might have been what happened. I hope we find out.
Yeah. So the point is, we find out. The point is, like, this is a doctor who is like, as far as we can tell, pretty pro public health, and that's awesome. So 2 thumbs up. Let's do it. Let's go.
Yeah. Here for it. I know there was some criticism in the stat piece that I'm about to show here about the other people who will be supporting Erica Schwartz and Dr. Schwartz, and they seem legit, but also some of the criticism has been like, oh, wow, like she'll still have to deal with the Susan Manaras problem, which is that Kennedy won't let her do anything. I think that appears to no longer be true. It seems like Kennedy is doing.
I think that ship has sailed away.
I think he's doing press pieces on healthy eating and lifestyle, and he has a new podcast, Lisa, as you noted to me. So I think he's busy, and now it sounds like Chris Klump is running HHS. So it sounds like things might be okay.
Yeah, I guess I just kind of think I think that they are like, we need people in here. I mean, everyone on this list here, whether I know them or like them or not or whatever, they look like they're probably qualified for their jobs, like for real. So
legit. Yeah,
I'm good.
I mean, I will say, because, big fan of the private sectors, this Sean Slavensky, also love a good Polish name, former president of Walmart Health and Wellness. That sounds like a big organization, and he probably knows how to manage big organizations, which I'm here for.
Yeah, that's one of the things. Like you're not qualified for a job like that if you're just a medical doctor. Sorry to all MDs. Like, running a massive organization.
Doctors do think that they are.
They do. But like, if you combine being a medical doctor with being someone who has run a massive freaking organization, now you're talking about being more qualified for a role like this. Just to be totally clear, America is the biggest organization. Thank you very much.
Yeah, America is a big organization. Last time I checked. Yeah, and we got a show from Texas, Jennifer Shuford. Don't know her either, but sounds like a baller. And then don't know Sarah Brenner, but you know what? I feel great about her. I feel great about all these people.
Totally.
It's cool to have leadership. CDC has definitely not had those things recently. So that's freaking great. Here for it. Cool.
Staff up.
God bless America. Let's hope it works. Let's hope that they get through, or I guess at least Dr. Schwartz gets through her nomination process fast. Trump, you guys, as a post-Catholic individual, I still obviously have this thing called Catholic guilt, and that is how my life was formed. I am mad at both JD Vance and Trump for fucking with the Pope.
I'm not even mad at Trump because I think this is all his like MO 100%. I am unreasonably mad at JD Vance because he makes a big deal about being a convert to Catholicism. Not trying to minimize that. People have the right to certainly convert to a religion and then be an adherent of that religion. But if you would think for 1 millisecond that you can lecture the Pope
Yeah, it
on
did not come off well.
theology, it really doesn't. It's just not. Come on, dude. Like,
I listened to, like, it was like the
doing
Daily, or it was,
LOL.
one of the podcasts that we listened to. I listened to
Yeah.
it yesterday, and it was kind of about this riff. And my boys were in the back, and like, they're also, well, they aren't even post-Catholic, they're just not. And but they know who the Pope is, and they know he's a baller. So, and they know he went to Villanova, which is, we're from around there, obviously. So anyway, yeah, and they were like, why is he doing that? And I was like, I don't know, boys. But like, also, yeah, you don't get to lecture the Pope on Catholicism since he's the boss. Like, just saying, I don't know, this is ridiculous, what a distraction.
But also, if you heard the Daily, the Daily was interviewing like the pool reporters who follow
Yeah,
the Pope
that's what I
around.
listened to. Yeah, yeah.
Yes. And they were like, this dude is like super smart on media, on positioning, but he's also really, really clear about like who he is and what his role is. And like he's been like a total like unifier, like very much like bringing in conservative, bishops and bringing in more liberal bishops and really trying to be a very conciliatory person. He is not some like firebrand or whatever, but like you pushed him to the limit, bro. Like don't, and don't like, I'm sorry, whether again, like it's not revolutionary to say like war is bad, peace is good, which is all the shit this dude has said, which is very much in the scripture. I'm saying this as a like incredibly non-religious Jewish person. I swear to God, like this is God does not support this. God does not support
Yeah,
war.
yeah.
God loves
Pretty
peace.
sure.
Jesus loves peace. Prince of Peace. Prince of Peace. Prince of
Yeah,
Peace.
just saying. And then like the whole
I
thing,
don't know,
like the
man.
Pope's weak on crime. Well, no shit,
Yes,
dude.
no shit, dude. Prince of Peace, forgiveness, love thy neighbor,
Yeah,
welcome the
yeah.
stranger. What else can I say here? Like, I don't know. Like,
There's just a lot there. Anyway,
there's a
this is
lot there.
unrelated to health technology, but I'm sure we could connect the dots if we felt like it, which we do not. So moving on. Back to Nerdland.
Boy.
The access model. Lisa, congratulations to Innovacer, or Story Health by
Thanks.
Innovacer, however you guys are calling it, on being one of the companies selected for the access model. What?
Yep. This was really interesting. In particular, CMS extended the deadline.
Yeah, you got the hot goss
Surprisingly.
here. You got the hot
Yeah.
goss.
Well, I was just like, so I have to assume, looking at the list, did some basic descriptive statistics on it. Like, I assume that they were like, this isn't enough people, because you're not bound to do this if you were accepted to this level. After being accepted, then you have to go through and, review and accept the participant agreement, and have to meet all those requirements and that too. So it wasn't like being accepted at this level is like very binding. You can do whatever you want. You could say like, never mind, I don't like it. So I'm sure a lot of people just applied, like, let me just apply and see if I get in. I think that CMS was probably expecting more qualified folks. As I pointed out in my LinkedIn post, Omada, Hinge Health, Sword Health, like some of those guys did not apply. And, I think we all know from various things that they were pretty influential in helping CMS devise this model. But I think it all came down to the reimbursement rates and just generally saying like, like, it's not enough. And I think if you have a really like robust and mature commercial model around this kind of digital health work, you're like, I'm good.
Well, Lisa, let me ask you this. Like, much like we're about to talk about Medicare Advantage now being basically like it always is, like a normal increase, is there a pathway? Because you don't know how the government works. Is there a pathway for CMMI to say, like, oh, we changed it?
Totally, right? Like
There
CMS
is?
can do totally 100%. Now, you and I, as you recall, because we of course interviewed Abe Sutton and Gita Dio from CMMI, and we heard from them to say like, please don't tell us that the reimbursement rates are too low. Like, we know that we did this intentionally. It's all part of our plan to make this a really lasting program and chassis for technology driven chronic care management, blah blah blah. Like, of course they can update things if they want to all the time. They do it all the time. They do it all the time.
Yeah. I
All
will
the time.
say if I was like, because yeah, we heard the hot gossip, this was like a Hinge Health sword type of situation. They went in, they got it done. I will say if I was the government affairs person, if that person was not in fact the CEOs of these companies, and I got access through, and then they came back and smacked me with low reimbursements rates, you better
Sure.
believe I would have probably gotten fired or like something. Like I'm sure that
Yeah,
sucks, but
dude.
also like I mean, I think it makes, I hope that they keep them low because I think the point is to prove out that things can be done better, cheaper, faster with the AI and all the things. So I don't know, but yeah, the Goss is in. Who broke that story? Was that Mario?
I think it was Mario.
Yeah.
Mario had been working on the story for a while, as far as I recall, and had his ear to the ground, you know.
Yeah, yeah, because that you mentioned me when we were bullshitting the other day that like the one big company is Headspace.
Yeah, so the one big like commercial health tech company is Headspace. And there was something in Mario's article, I believe, where he said that he had talked to Headspace and they said, and like they had been looking for like a clinical partner to really work with on this. And they were like, it's just not going to work. Like we have to do it ourselves. So they were like,
Mhm.
we're big enough that we're going to start billing Medicare because they already have like a payer arm as well and something more of like a commercial thing. But they were like, they weren't already billing Medicare Part B, which is part of the requirements. I think they just said like, we're just gonna do it ourselves. We've applied, like we'll
Yeah,
whatever, because they're big enough, a big enough company. They have enough infrastructure. They can just do it. But I think they were like trying to find a good partner and just couldn't make it happen in time. So
yeah,
Headspace will be interesting. They're obviously in the behavioral health track only. And in my descriptive statistics post, I kind of was like, the most distinctive group is behavioral health. You have a number of behavioral health track participants or proposed participants who aren't in any of the other tracks at all, which kind of makes sense given sort of how these things work. But again, we'll see. We'll see.
yeah.
We
Do you
shall
think do
see.
you think more people will in fact apply, or they'll just get like a couple dozen more?
I can only assume that they are out there trying to gin up some applications, the CMS
Mm,
team, the
mm,
CMMI team. But
mm,
yeah,
mm.
it's I don't know. I don't know if it was the timing because it wasn't a very long application. I can tell you that.
Yeah. 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 There's also like lots going on. We'll see. I don't know. I heard a lot of companies talking about it, but I did not see them on the list. So I don't know. Whatever.
On
We'll see what happens.
HTN, shout out to that group. Obviously, if you're watching this and
We
you
love
aren't already
HTN.
on HTN, like you're missing out on so much intel. And they had looked at the initial, and you can find this on YouTube, the initial webinar where they had now, it was a live event that they recorded. It's streamed live from HHS, but you could find the YouTube like recording of this webinar. During that webinar, they showed on the screen the companies who had expressed early interest in access. And then on HTN, I think Martin did like a comparison of the companies that had expressed interest and those who had actually applied or made it in or whatever. And the delta is
Oh,
pretty significant. Yeah.
yeah. That's super interesting.
So
Yeah. And that was
if you like
also
hot
that
goss,
meeting.
join HTN also, obviously. If you're
Yeah. Oh, yeah. HTN is great for the hot goss. I always, when I'm doing the news show, which, we do 20 minutes before the show,
yeah.
go through to see what, like, I always go through what I've missed because there's like, HTN doesn't really miss anything. Yeah, but that also that meeting at HHS, they invited all those investors and everything. Like a bunch of investors were like, they are like hot and bothered to get us to this thing. Why? Like it made like a bunch of them were like, it seems like they're desperate. And I was like, I don't know. But also investors are not companies that would apply to this thing. So I don't know. I do know a lot of people were kind of like, huh? So we'll see. Maybe they'll get more. That'll be cool.
Yeah.
Um, there is we got a new proposed rule, the CMS interoperability standards and prior auth for drugs proposed rule. This is like a lot of like, hey, let's use fire as far as I read. As you know,
Hmm.
Lisa, I didn't read that far. So
Yeah, no, I mean, it's all about that. There's also a ton of RFIs in this. Again, we were complaining about this, how
mhm.
like CMS puts a bunch of RFIs and proposed rules because it's an easy way to publish them, basically. So yeah,
Yeah.
check that
And the
out.
only one that I actually care about is the one that relates to the business that I was in at Collective Medical, which is the ADT stuff, the alerting
Mm,
ENS, right? As our legal friend of the show, Tom Novak, posted earlier this week, there is an RFI in there for electronic event notifications for value-based care coordination. And it primarily talks about like, Medicare Advantage saving money because like we'd be flinging around ADTs to coordinating providers. I don't know. When I read this, I was like, didn't we already do that? Like, wasn't that like the
Yeah.
ADT COP in like 2020? Which kind of makes me mad. And maybe that's why they're doing it again, because that stupid thing went over like a lead balloon. Like everybody made a big deal about it. And then like all you kind of had to do was like say, like, yeah, we like tried to send notifications. We like tried really hard. And then like there was just like so many, whatever. That sucks. And so I'm annoyed that we have to even think about it again. But I guess like also it didn't work. So I guess they're gonna try again. I don't know.
Yeah, just to be clear, this proposed rule is about, just going back to my little notes here, this is an extension of like the prior auth interoperability requirements. Now they're just expanding those prior auth interoperability, proposing to extend these prior auth interoperability requirements to drugs, to pharmaceuticals in different ways across CMS regulated plans. Remember, all the CMS interop rules that affect payers are primarily relevant to plans that CMS regulates, like Medicare Advantage, Medicare Managed Care Organizations, CHIP, et cetera, like ACA plans, like things like that. So that's what they have like regulatory control over. And their hope obviously is that they will extend to, other plans that are run by the same payers or TPAs or whatever else. So,
Yeah.
often
they are.
Yeah.
Often they are.
Often they are, because it's just easier to do it for everything. And
Yeah, since we only have like
yeah.
actually a few national plans running
Yep.
basically fucking
Yep.
everything, they
Yep.
kind of, you
Yep.
know.
Yep. Yeah. So like the
Yeah.
2024 rule was modernizing prior authorization for procedures and services, but hadn't really touched drugs yet. And so this gets into the drug space. And then, like you just said, the list of RFIs, electronic event notifications, what you were just yelling about, cybersecurity and system resilience, payer API oversight, step therapy process, moving from drug to drug, and prior auth for lab tests and DME, stuff like that. So there's a lot of stuff in here. If you're an interoperability nerd, you probably are already drafting your response.
Yeah, good for you. God bless America. Love it. Love a rule. Love a proposed rule. Okay. Everybody, like, this already happened like a long time ago, but we were like over the sea. So Oracle cut a bunch of staff. They cut a bunch from their Cerner division known as Oracle Health. Although it doesn't sound like as much as everybody thought. Remember we posted that article like a couple of like weeks ago, months ago, that was from like this weird outlet that looked like it was the talk show only in copy form, that was like, they will cut Oracle Health so they can fund their data centers. It sounds like some of that was partially true, but potentially not as much as everybody thought.
Yeah.
But this is a lot of people. It was something like 18,000 employees, or I forget, more than that, 18%, which is a lot.
It was a lot of people. This is a big company. To cut 18% is a big deal. And I think, there's just like the long goodbye for Cerner employees, right? Who just were like, our business, the company that we loved, has been destroyed. I'm quoting them. This is not my opinion. So that's like, that's what you read. The worst. And like, I think there's just a lot of people who worked for Cerner for many, many years who obviously have gone through like whiplash with the acquisition and then the subsequent, AI-ification of the world.
Yeah. Sad. Our hearts go out to you, Oracle people. Any of you in the health side, like, reach out to us. We may or may not know anywhere you can work, but people ask us all the time, so we probably know some stuff. Okay. Yeah. Like we said before, and then we'll get to our real special guest in a second here. CMS did cave. Everybody was super pissed that they were not really increasing Medicare Advantage rates. It was like a 0 something percent, 0.09, I forget what it was.
0.06,
and now it's like almost 2.5. And if you invested in various plans when they were down, like maybe this girl did, you had a really great week in the markets. Just saying. Although I invested way before I thought this would happen. I thought they were going to actually hold tight. The way everybody was talking over in Medicare Advantage land on the internets. They were like, nope, we got to eventually like not just throw out cash, and now we are throwing out the cash.
I think the argument was like basically like that they already had like priced in, they already made cuts to like RADV and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? Like they've already, I think they were like, we already made cuts, we've already tightened up, so we can adjust based on inflation or whatever. So yeah, this was a big like whoop in the industry. They were so excited.
Yeah, people were freaking pumped. It was great.
Yeah, they were
good for all y'all. And it was apparently like massive amounts of public comment. Like people were super pissed. So I guess maybe they read them. Also, quick note before we jump to our friend Clay, who has real things to tell us, but Medv. So many of you probably saw, this is just like a quick, there's so many analyses of this on the internet. We're just going to like laugh about it for a second.
Dude.
But there was this New York Times piece about the $1 billion one person company, and they used AI to build a GLP-1 telehealth company. Right away, I read that and I was like, what the fuck? And it turns out, in fact, they are getting legally smashed.
Here's the thing though. Here's the so yeah, read Brendan, read some other people on this. Like, it's just, first of all, like, is obviously a total scam. Somebody, some person who was doing PR for Medv, like, placed them in this puff piece, which probably just got like more attention on their scam really quickly.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that was like intentional or like just dumbness or like hubris or whatever, but it was really embarrassing. And I always come back to, why can I not be the like $1 billion scammer? And it turns out I just must not have the constitution for it, because this was a pretty obvious one, honestly. This was just like
I mean,
this
is like
this. I could
this
have done
shit
this,
is
man.
real.
I could have done this. I could have made $1 billion.
You could have done it, Lisa, and we could have all achieved our dream of going to prison.
I know. How to go to prison.
How to go to prison quickly. And with great fanfare. Yeah, I don't know. Weird. Anyway, go read some analyses if you guys are curious about that. That's Medv. Last, but potentially least, because it sounds the most boring, but is actually kind of exciting in the AI revolution. Companies like Salesforce made it. I doubt they are the first headless system, but they are the first to make a super big deal about it. This is, again, something covered by multiple influencers in our industry, including our bestie, Brendan Keeler. But this is kind of cool. They're like, yeah, you can just like do all this from your AI, no problem. So that's pretty cool. And I know like there are other companies like Innovacer even talks about how it's a headless this or that. So that's cool. Looking forward to more of that, especially as I figure out what the heck AI even is. So that's great. All right, now we got to bring our bestie up at home. Let me go back to slide 2 so he can tell us about it. Oh my God.
Clownness. Clay.
What does this slide even mean that Melissa sent us? What
So
does this mean?
It's a topic. It's an agenda. I made a hot wings menu.
Oh, this is actually the agenda. I thought it was a slide from a presentation. This is fantastic. Okay,
like, do you want to go?
This is how you use AI. This is how Clay uses AI.
Okay, well,
I use AI all the time.
I'm just learning.
Yeah. So, what do y'all want to? I mean, I can talk about all kinds of stuff. You want me to kind of tell you about the menu? What's on the menu?
Tell us what's on the menu, and then we'll make the menu go away, and we'll just hear from you in your Hawaiian background.
Yeah. So, I mean, and I also have visuals too, if you want. And I think we should look at some of them. But I think
100%.
like things that I've been up to. That's what I tried to get onto this slide. I mean, I did do this clown talk. We probably should talk about that. It was pretty epic.
I bet it was.
The couple other things that came out of that talk, conversations, I've been talking about, I think we are with the death of the U.S. healthcare system. My big headline statement is, I think we are 3 years out before employer-sponsored health insurance is not a thing anymore. And we can talk about that.
I love that spicy take.
Love it. I need to hear more.
Yeah. Well, so hold that thought. I'd like to let everybody know what VA is trying to do to help vets have better choices with how they're trying to reform their community care network. We've got a new show, Medicaid on the Brain. It's kind of what 5 Bullet Fridays became. Other things. I love me some
5 Bullet Fridays.
It was hard to let. I think it's gone, but I still am tempted to bring it back. But and actually, the clown Lupolio, the character, has a lot to do with that. Okay. I want to show my spoof logo of Centene if we can.
Okay, here, yeah, we'll remove that, and you should be able to show some stuff.
I don't think it'll get us sued, but let me how do I share?
I hope not, but
I've been hoping to get actually sued for a long time, and it hasn't happened. I've gotten a lot of like threats, but
yeah, you get a few cease and desists.
Yeah, I've had some lawyers sick on me. Can you guys see my screen?
Not yet. Are you trying to?
See it below. Add it to stage. There you go.
Okay. So, all right. So I think I'll walk you through the clown talk because that pulls a lot of this together. And then if we have time, we'll do editorial cartoons.
Nobody has ever done this before, Clay. You're unique.
I'm not mad.
We're into it.
I love wings.
Give us a break. Give us a break.
So I had this character, Lupolio the clown, and I literally did. He didn't exist last time we talked. I mean, I did clown makeup, like real clown makeup. And it's really hard to get off, by the way. Like, nobody tells you that. It's really hard. He cries green dollar signs. And
oh my God,
his whole thing is he defends provider taxes. Like, he's really upset that like there's and that may be too long.
Kids, if it's legal, it's not wrong.
He's got this whole voice that he does it in, like this Mickey Mouse voice. Anyway, so I decided, but I gave this talk down in Florida, and I did it in class. So I need you to imagine you're walking in 8 a.m. conference, fancy conference. You know how conferences room look, and everybody's in a suit, fancy mainly health plan conference. And you're coming there largely, for me, that's a big part of the reason you're coming there, because you know I'm gonna do something crazy. But then one of my team members walks up. Her name's Liz. It's amazing. She's like, Clay's not gonna be here. I'm sorry. I just got a text from him. I'm hiding behind the screen.
Oh my God.
Like in this clown costume. I think Melissa sent a picture of it. And when I didn't know how it was going to go, like, because the talk I was about to give, I thought people were going to get up and walk out. I mean, I'll show you how the talk, what it's about, and you'll see it. It's calling everybody in the room clowns. But anyway, so Liz says, Clay's not going to make it. And I heard everybody go, oh, like they were disappointed. So I knew I was good, right? And then she says, hey, but he wants you to watch this video. And she plays Dame Judi Dench singing Send in the Clowns, from if you know that song.
Oh yeah.
And so people are like, what is happening? And after like 2 minutes, I start to peek out from behind the curtain, and you can see my gloves and my hair, and they went nuts. And so I did this talk in which I said, all this stuff that's happening in the Medicaid space right now is because of clown games that we've been playing. Instead of saying Orange Man Bad came down from the sky, it's because of shit we've done, right? And so I walk, and this is, so basically I'm telling everybody in the room, this is all our fault, right? And so I'm not going to walk you through all of them, but I mean, I did this talk, and there was one point where my nose fell off into my cup of water and I had to wring it out.
Oh my God. Lisa, we have so far to go before
Clay,
we are exceptionally off the rails.
You are the master. You are the master.
Yeah,
I'm just bowing down to you.
I worked on this for months. I mean, it was performance art. But anyway, in the end, my big message was I had to kill Lou Polio on stage because there's no room for clowns in the future. Right? And so like I took off parts of it. But anyway, that was the clown talk, and that kind of gives you an idea of like where I've evolved to, you know, with some of this stuff.
This deck is like a talk show deck.
This is
it's
amazing.
Like so bad it's good. Like
honestly,
I know.
Kat, I think you should choose a new like guest host. I think Clay is like ready for the job. I'm getting the vibes like he's
I don't know, guys.
Well, you know, he's got his own show, Lisa.
Crossover event. Holy smokes.
Maybe we should just merge.
We should merge.
The universes cross, like Marvel, you know? So I do want to jump to that big, sexy topic where I say, I think the U.S. healthcare system is really dead, right? Like, I think it's crazy to think that it may be dying or whatever else. The body is dead and we're just now smelling it, right? I mean, it's so obvious. Like if you really just do it. And I do think we're going to start to see, and I've got examples from companies, what I see, how they're essentially pricing out their employees on the premium side, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I do think it's just going to be a matter of a few years before we see a large company, and I mean like an IBM or others, say, you know what? We can't afford this insurance stuff anymore. We're just not going to do it, and nobody's really going to do it. And then that's when we're going to realize, okay, yeah, we really this is completely untenable. And people have been responding to that. Like I said that in this talk that I talked about, and a lot of people came up and said, hey, let's talk more about this, because I'm seeing some things like in my markets, that kind of stuff. But where I really probably want to spend the most time on today is just these editorial cartoons. So I've been working on these. We put these out as the cover of like our weekly like intel report that we do, and I'm trying to generate conversation, right? This is the thing. When I told you, my friend said, does Clay just not want clients? People are watching me put this stuff out, and I really am trying to get civil discourse going. And I'm to the point where I've got about 20 years of distilled, hey, I think this is how all this stuff works, where I can visually put it together. And it's in a long line of tradition, like Mad Magazine used to do this kind of stuff, Charlie Hebdo, if you know those guys, South Park. I mean, really try to put it all together. And I feel like they kind of speak for themselves. This was the first one that we did.
I saw this one. I know you were like, don't worry that there's 2 Californias.
Right.
We need 2.
Don't worry about that.
There's 2 anyway.
But we're in this really interesting spot where it's all fun and games when CMS just turns the money on for whatever policy agenda you want, and we talk about partnership or whatever else. But when you start to turn some of that off, you realize, this is not the nice thing. This is one of my favorite ones here. This is titled Will She Say Yes? Right?
Oh no.
So with work requirements, we're asking Medicaid members to do extra stuff to get this ring, right? To get this thing we call Medicaid coverage. And it's a busted up ring. We think it's great. All of us, we all get our livelihood this way. We're like,
it's like a ring pop.
How could she not say yes to this beautiful thing? And she's like, what do I even get with this?
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Entrenched Medicaid industries
and health plans are in the back. Yes, please say yes. Please keep those easy rate sales going. This one, I don't know if 340B is too wonky for you guys or not.
Oh no,
okay.
No.
I love this one. I did this one. This one's called fatty liver disease.
Actual nonprofit FQs, not
tiny little, the tiny little part. This one I love. Medicaid fraud this has been mind-blowing to me. And this actually ties back to loop polio, because one of the things that really bothered me last August or September, we started seeing a focus on reforming some of these things that I have been saying are financing games for years, provider taxes, dish, supplement, whatever. And I saw people that I know are smart people like defending these things, right, in the face of and that I know think they have a morality around it. And now the same thing is happening with fraud. You've got all these people that know good and well like the program is rife with fraud. It's like, oh no, this is just not real. No way. This is just political or whatever. But this was maybe last month. I can't remember.
You might not like the messenger, but the message is, unfortunately,
right.
There's something to it.
I know. Awesome. Well, yeah, and there's the whole, not just fraud, waste and abuse is pretty significant.
Fraud. And my estimates have been for a few years that, we spend $1 trillion a year on Medicaid. I think about half of it is not getting to member services, either through fraud, waste, administrative profits. I've got pretty decent estimates of the plan role in all this. But anyway, keep looking for those. This is one I did when we shut down. This is called Mr. Schumer's Tiny Horse. I love this one. But
Kat, did you pay the premium for our media liability insurance? Because if not, we're in trouble.
That is our biggest. That is why
I'm jumping on here. I don't know if you all saw the text message, but that's.
Oh, I did.
Okay.
Oh yeah. What did Melissa just text us?
Oh my gosh.
I'm really happy we have that insurance. Laughing my fucking ass off.
Yeah. All right. So then let me show you this, because your insurance is going to help you on this one.
I'm so grateful that they have never tried to sponsor our show.
Cut the feed, man.
Oh my god! Wow. How have they reacted? Have you gotten a cease and desist?
No, I'm showing y'all private stash stuff right here.
Oh shit! Oh my god!
Now, when I meet somebody that works for this company, and this is all just fictional, right? What is the thing? Any similarities to blah 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 blah? This is all just in Clay's conspiracy theory.
Not a company we know.
No, we don't know who. We have no idea who this is. But typically, what I will do is when I meet someone who tells me they work.
The last slide that you were just showing.
Go to
the slide you just showed us.
Right. I know, it's so true.
It's so true. Okay, we were just complaining about. We complain about it a lot, but man, LinkedIn everywhere is turned, and you totally know it's AI.
It is. Awful. I literally, almost a year ago, I created a custom GPT that people can go to and just give it a couple of words, and it will spit out some garbage value-based care stuff that you can post on LinkedIn.
It's so bad.
Crazy.
I love it.
So
All right, so
want to point out
healthcare does not equal insurance. Agree.
Healthcare does not equal insurance. I think we've learned that. It also doesn't equal access.
Yeah.
Here's where we really are right now. Pharmacies are gutted. You never see an actual doctor, right? It's like you go to urgent care. Good luck. I mean, it's just nuts. Like, this is really where we are. And this is if you've got it good.
This is like a real talk. Like, this is where we are. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, even like as a small employer, Ensena's not terribly big.
Right.
We had like a massive jump in our premiums, and
yes.
like we had to like make choices, right? Like it sucks,
right.
and it's not cool. Question for you: what do you think? So you're saying like employer sponsored insurance, we're 3 ways away from death. What do you think they're going to do? Like ICRA stuff, or what do you think happens?
Here's the thing right now, like if I had just chosen to pay cash for all the healthcare I've received this year so far, I would be in the positive. Now, obviously, I didn't have a catastrophic accident or a catastrophic illness. And so I'm just hoping on that. But everything I have every healthcare unit I have received, if I had been paying cash versus paying a copay or a deductible on top of insurance, I'd be dramatically in the black.
Same.
Right. And I would much
not
rather
a little, a lot.
A lot by a lot.
And your providers would be in better shape too. I mean, I wish I could take that same amount of money, right? Which is just, the only reason is because we're afraid. What if we have an admin or whatever else?
Yeah.
Okay. I take that same amount of money and give it to like all our specialists and our PCPs, that kind of stuff. I mean, it's crazy. Like we pay 20 grand to pay another 20 grand to get Jack. I mean, it's terrible.
My favorite one is like when we had to go to the urgent care, my husband cut his finger open really badly. And literally like, they were like, oh, if you had said you were going to pay cash, we'd give you a 50% discount. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
Right.
Like, that's insane. Like, so I just walked in and made the mistake of waving my stupid insurance card, and suddenly I'm paying more out of my pocket. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. And when you dig into some of that, there's even terms in some of their provider, like in their contracts with like Aetna or Humana or whatever else, that once they know you have that, you have to go to that.
Yep. There's a lot of things happening behind. A lot of people have their hands out behind the scenes, and they're collecting the moment you put your little foot into that door. It's done.
And part of this is why we only do stuff with community plans, not that they're, not that they don't make mistakes or whatever, but that's another thing I wanted to flag. And I know I'm jumping around. It's another thing I wanted to flag for anybody that's in the Medicaid plan space. There's another made-up company in my conspiracy head. They're called Smellivants. Some people call them Smellivants. It's such a strange name. I don't know what to call it.
Yeah, it's weird.
They, and they're not the only ones, but just beware of the strategies in which they're trying to flip to RFA in your state instead of RFP. That's really going to be the last death knell of community plans, like of nonprofits. Anyway, I think I'm making because for folks that may not know, so RFP, request for proposal, it is a hot mess and it's been busted for a long time. RFA, request for application, seems easier, right? What it does is it lets almost anybody in. So it's great if you're an outsider trying to get in, like a large national. You get in there, you get that foothold, and then you infect the whole system. So year one, you get in way easier, and year two, you gain more market share. And then I basically am predicting by year three, when a state flips, there'll be no more things as a local nonprofit plan in that state. And we see this strategy. People don't realize, like, I don't say this to sound like conceited or what, but we have eyes and ears everywhere. We see this strategy being pushed in a lot of places. So look for it in your state.
Wow.
Interesting. I mean, like, what happens if health insurance just fully collapses in on itself, Clay? Like, what do we look like?
I think there will be a painful transition period to the next thing. And I think the next thing will probably, we're going to get some type of indemnity type option. I don't know if y'all saw, I covered it in Medicaid on Brain this morning, but there is a move to allow non-network plans on exchanges for us to use subsidies on those. That'll be a big deal. Remember, we shut down the government last fall over the enhanced premium tax credit. So if we could now use those for a thing that is not Centene and Molina, to answer your question, it's going to be a painful transition period. But nobody can afford to pay these guys their crazy profit taking rates. These it's like 5 companies, that are some of the world's largest companies.
Okay. But here's the thing we have to say about healthcare, right? It is not just one boogeyman or one group of boogeymen, right? Providers are not all angels. Pharmaceutical companies, PBM, certainly not all angels. Everybody is part of this story. That's something that I've found.
True.
Certainly there's some groups doing bad things here, other groups doing bad things here. There's a lot of concentration in the provider network. So it's not just them, right?
Yeah.
That's right. It's very entangled.
We're all involved.
Right? Which is why the fix is going to be painful. Because you can't do it a little bit here or a little bit there because it's all entangled. It's going to take disaster. And there's no way we can continue to afford it. And that's why I say when employers say we can't afford this anymore, right? Like I've got a company that I know someone who works there. I'm not going to name the company, but they're a very large national distributor, and they're largely a logistics company, but they have little stores everywhere. They have increased their employees' premiums to a point where it makes no sense whatsoever to take it, right, as an employee. And this has happened over the last several years. And so you go to the exchange and you're like, can I afford this? And most of them say, oh, but they check that little box that says I was offered insurance at my employer. So they think they're not eligible for the subsidies. Right. But then if they mouse over it, it says, as long as it was less than 9% of your salary or whatever else. And it's way more than that. So what I'm saying is
confusing.
It's confusing to the employee, but I promise it's a deliberate strat. Having been on the other years ago, I did employer benefits consulting. Essentially, this is what quiet quitting looks like for large employers. Quietly quitting, offering health benefits. You see what I mean?
Wow.
Well, and it's just like designed to collapse them, because the only person who's going to do it is somebody who has a really, really like pervasive, serious healthcare condition where there's no way that they can afford to just go cash pay. And so then you're going to accelerate the demise of that offering.
And has the means, right? And just on the personal side, I'm fortunate enough, I'm testing direct primary care, like concierge, because I really believe, number one, we're not getting what we need right now, in terms, can't get a sick visit, can't get attention, need a better quarterback, all that kind of stuff. I believe people that don't have a good relationship with a PCP, like some sort of that's lucrative for the PCP, you're not going to be able to get even a PCP in like a few years.
Lisa was just talking about that. Well, you were talking about with a specialist though, like a DPC specialist, right?
Well, I'm saying to quarterback those specialists, because that's what a lot of them do. And the specialists,
I'm pro DPC, pro freedom.
Well, the benefit, whatever it is, they are going to do. They have done their own direct contracting now. So literally, what was supposed to be more efficient, is now going to be like direct primary care PCPs who are managing care. They're going to go out then and like close like referral relationships with specialists now. So now we're just like recreating this whole thing again, because we can't figure out a way to like not make primary care physicians' lives hell and also allow them to have direct relationships with people who they need to treat and care for. It's just such a like market failure,
But like what happens? Like what happens when employers are just like, fuck it?
Then they better be paying me a lot more, is what I would say.
But they're not, because of AI. They don't need you. They don't need you. AI doesn't need health benefits,
Oh man.
Well,
yikes.
Sure. No, but really, are they just going to be like, all right, we'll just do some ICRA? Like what?
They'll probably keep an HSA and pay in benefits there, and then say like, good luck, buy your healthcare services.
Yeah. Right. Clay, what do you think about single payer system?
My thinking has evolved on this. I will say that.
Mine too. I used to be like, fuck it.
Well, and that is the inevitable place that this thing crashes into, not because it's the right answer or the best answer, but that's what failure looks like, right? And it's the only thing we'll be able to do. It's not going to be great. It's not going to give good outcome. It's going to be terrible, but I mean, look at what Medicaid is like right now. But that's where we're going. I mean, another thing I've said over the years along this lines is like, we're all going to basically be on Medicaid in 5 years, 10 years, or whatever else. So
that's what Lisa thinks.
Yeah. I mean, that's where we're headed. And it's for years. If you look at Medicaid, Medicare, state, local, federal, DOD, I mean, more than like 70% of Americans get their health coverage, whatever that means, from a government entity anyway.
Yeah.
And the cost to Medicare will be a lot lower if people with chronic conditions have managed those chronic conditions well before they get on Medicare, guys. I mean, look at me. I now officially have pre-diabetes. Congratulations to me. And
Great job, Lisa.
I know, thank you. I've been working on it really hard for a long time. In addition to my hyperlipidemia, which is well controlled by the miracle drug that are statins. But it's important that I am on statins, right?
Right.
I have, like genetic hyperlipidemia, high cholesterol. And if I wasn't on statins and I like rolled into 65 with like some serious problems, well, there you go. Like
rolled in. I don't know.
Luckily for me and Mark Cuban Cost Plus Drugs, it's like $7 for a 90-day supply. So who cares? I'm not even using my insurance.
Done. Well, yeah. A lot of people talk about that. The Mark Cuban, he's been coming in hot, saving America. I'm into it.
He liked one of my comments not long ago.
Oh, Mark, again, by the way, we've been trying to convince Mark Cuban to come on our show by just saying it on our show for a long time. Maybe it'll work someday.
I think he has to like watch it to even hear it because we don't catalog nor transcribe anything. So like, I don't know. Someone just asked me on Health Tech Nerds, so they're like, hey, you mentioned this company in 2024. Can you tell me which show? I was like, no,
I can't.
Clue. Not because I don't want to.
No
I just
clue.
can't.
I just can't. I can't do it.
Wait, okay, Clay. So we have 3 minutes. What are the other hot takes? You have so many.
I mean, we've covered the vast majority.
We didn't talk about this Voynich thing. Do we even have time
so
for that?
that is a whole other non-healthcare topic. Google Voynich manuscript. It's one of these things that, like, once you start looking into it, you're going to become obsessed with it. Do you know nothing about it?
I don't know anything about it.
Just Google it.
Okay, Melissa.
It's fascinating.
Make us Google it. Oh my God.
Okay. Great.
I mean, Lemonheads have a new album. I think that's really important. I think people should listen to it. Yeah, I think we covered it. I'm kind of amazed. We really kind of covered everything. I really am trying to push. It's weird to me. I've got lots of gray in my beard now, and I've been doing this 20-something years, and I'm trying to figure out how to land the plane. And so much of it comes down to things like these editorial cartoons. Like, how do I get into people's head? At least another way to view this, besides what all the conferences tell us and all the press releases tell us and all that kind of stuff, because it's still important. At the bottom of all this, there's Medicaid members who are not getting what they should be getting,
right? Because
there's so many takers, like, all along the way.
Yep.
I'm here for it. I think like that's one of the reasons we do the show, right? Like there's so much bullshit out there and everybody digs into the little issues and they miss the big picture, and then we show up sometimes a little drunk and say stuff. You just happen to be doing it in a more visually compelling and hilarious way.
Well, I didn't drink today because I now have to be more serious. I did last time. But
why? What happened?
I'm teaching a college class now.
We used to drink on our show too, and we don't do that anymore.
Well,
you mentioned that yourself.
Too early.
Yeah. Drinking is also very much out of fashion these days, man. The whole world is anti-alcohol.
It is, but I don't always follow fashion trends.
Great.
But that works against Lisa. I think that helps cure the pre-diabetes, right? Like alcohol.
I'm gonna test it and let you know.
The show is not meant for medical advice.
Some olives, Lisa.
This show is definitely not medical advice.
A big fat old steak.
Do not take any medical advice. Don't take legal advice from us. Medical advice.
We are not real media. We are not lawyers. This is a fake news show. Nothing we said today is real.
All AI.
Exactly.
We do not even exist.
It happened. Yes.
Yeah, nice.
Awesome. Okay.
Clay, you're amazing. If anyone
Thank
who
you
is
for having
not
me.
who is not a bad customer or prospect wants to work with Clay, find him at Mostly Medicaid. Did I just say that right?
Yeah, he may or may not take you. It's
He may or may
confusing.
not take you.
We're unsure.
I mean,
He might send you a meme.
like if you look at the website, like we actually say like we might not be a fit if, and it depends on what they do.
That's
Oh my
baller.
God, that's
I mean,
amazing. Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe I'll regret. I haven't regretted it for 20 years.
That's awesome.
Amazing.
That's awesome.
Amazing.
You're the
Amazing.
best. Well, we always love having
Thank
you on
you,
the show,
Clay.
Clay. Yeah,
you for
America,
having me.
reach out to Clay. Also follow him on LinkedIn and everywhere else because he is hilarious.
Thank you.
And his stuff is like, it's mostly true. So
Mostly
True-ish.
Medicaid, mostly true.
True-ish.
Mostly Medicaid is mostly true. All right, Clay,
Truthiness.
thanks. You're the best. We'll talk to you
Thank you.
later.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
guys. Bye.